This speech changed my life.
If you want to change the world, start off by making your bed.
The speech by Admiral William Mcraven, Make Your Bed, outlined 10 life lessons that really hit deep about his Navy SEAL training that can be applied to everything you do in life, and especially things that you want to accomplish in life. And understanding that changing the world starts with the simplest task of making your bed. Before we break down the lessons and share my thoughts about them, hit that subscribe button, follow, and leave a rating and review wherever you are. Now let's get into it. Lesson number 1 is to start the day with making your bed. This task seems so trivial, and you may not have to make your bed to be successful or accomplished in life. But from his speech, he points out that even when you had a bad day and everything just seems to have gone wrong and you feel like nothing has gotten accomplished, if you made your bed, you'd still come home to a made bed, which gives you a sense of a small win. And that small win really matters. And it's a reminder that these small daily habits, they can and do matter. And starting off by making your bed in the morning can lead to more small wins that compound on themselves. So that is lesson number 1. Lesson number 2, find someone to help you paddle with. In life, we can't achieve great things alone. We often need a team, friends, family, loved ones, colleagues, other people besides ourselves to help us and to navigate the challenges of life that we'll inevitably face in life. If everyone isn't working together, the example he gave is that recruits had to paddle in synchronization or carry a heavy log in synchronization, and if they weren't working together, the boat wouldn't get moved, the log wouldn't get carried. And the lesson teaches us that teamwork is important, and there's power in collaboration. And a great example for myself is podcasting. I wouldn't be able to do podcasts if I don't have other guests. And this can be applied to anything you want to accomplish in life. Sure, you can do it alone, but you could do it further, faster, and maybe have some fun if you have a team to support you. Lesson number 3 is measure a person by the size of their heart. This one speaks to being humble and not judging people by how they look, but judging people by their heart and compassion and love and grit and determination. I mean, we shouldn't really judge people, but the lesson reminds us to not be judging people like you judge a book by its cover, right? You don't judge people by their appearance, but by their willingness to persevere, to get through tough times, and their inner strength. The example he gave is the short people in the Navy SEAL training, 5'5" and below, my height. They were always made fun of and laughed at because they were short, and they made little munchkin jokes and things like that. And it didn't matter because they were always on top. They got through everything. That team pushed, persevered, and somehow, some way weren't struggling as much as the taller guys. So it just reminds us to not judge people by how they look, and ultimately not really judge people in general, but look at how big their hearts are, and that's what really matters. Lesson number 4 is get over being a sugar cookie. In his SEAL training, if you failed to meet the standards, you're required to roll around on the beach, get covered in sand and water in your clothes, and it's uncomfortable. And why you should get over being a sugar cookie is that when you deal with failures and lessons in life and setbacks and whatever it is you're facing that's just tough and hard, understand that life is full of these moments, and we must learn to embrace them. We must learn to embrace them, move forward, and not let these failures define who we really are. Because from my experience, when you start to let your failures define who you are, they hurt way more than they should. And then you get discouraged, and then you just stop altogether. Don't see them as that. Embrace them. Understand that you're gonna have setbacks, you're gonna have failures, and that you must get through these failures in order to achieve what you want to achieve. Lesson number 5 is don't be afraid of the circuses. His example was the circuses were physical training exercises that basically were a form of punishment, and it was a way to test resilience and toughness. And in life, we face our own circuses. We face our own challenges, things that may seem insurmountable. Just think of a time where you felt like giving up, but you persevered and you pushed on. These are the circuses of life. The extra challenges, the extra hard difficulty, the challenges that just seem endless. Instead of being afraid of them, you must also embrace them. We must also get over this. We should see them as opportunities to actually grow stronger and not see them as a reason to give up. Just think of them as a muscle. You work out in the gym, you lift weights, it hurts. Sometimes you lift weights you can't even lift, and it hurts even more, or you're afraid to lift something that's too heavy, but you do it anyways. But don't hurt yourself. These are the circuses of life. For me, podcasting personally was tough to start. You know, when you start a public media platform where you want to speak your mind, speak what you believe in, you have to understand that it's going to be publicized. You may be criticized for what you have to say, even though you may think it's positive and helpful. You never know what the internet can make out of it. That was something I had to face to finally start my podcast. Number 6, slide down the obstacles head first. His example was there was a particularly challenging obstacle that was called the slide for life. And to succeed in this, one must slide down head first, not feet first, which is scary and the opposite of what you think you'd have to do. But the lesson teaches us to take risk, embrace risks, face your fears, and approach challenges with boldness and confidence. So think of anything that you're afraid of and just gather up as much strength as you have and just say, F it, I'm going to do it. When you have this mentality, F it, I'm just going to do it. I don't care what people think. And you take that risk, you're building more character and confidence. The next one is lesson 7. Don't back down from the sharks. His example was basically when they're training for SEAL training, they are left in shark-infested waters, but nobody ever got eaten by a shark. But they're taught that when or if you see a shark, to basically just punch it in the face and you'll be fine. So what this lesson offers is that we must face our fears head on. Don't back down when you're confronted with something you're fearful of. And in difficult or dangerous situations, it's about having the courage to stay strong and to push forward. So don't back down, don't give up when you're facing something that you're afraid of, because that is exactly how you build confidence. The next one is lesson 8. Be your best in the darkest moments. In SEAL training, the toughest task was the night swim because you couldn't see your hand in front of your face, as Admiral Mcravens says. And the recruits must swim for miles in the dark, cold, freezing waters, rough waters. You have to stay afloat for miles on end, and their mettle is tested. This lesson teaches us to perform at our very best, even when circumstances are at their worst. So our character is truly revealed in these darkest depths where you don't see literally anything. In these moments where I can think of is moments where you just want to give up. You just want to throw in the towel and just let go. You know, if I give up, I don't have to do it anymore. But in these very moments when you feel like giving up is the best time to push forward. And once we push forward, even if it's our life on the line, our character will be developed and will build more resilience and confidence through this. Lesson number 9 is sing when your neck is in the mud. The mud flats exercise is when recruits had to spend hours in freezing mud, and the only way to get through was to start singing cadences with the group. This lesson was about finding hope and positivity even in the most miserable moments, about being uplifted, your spirits and those that surround you with a positive attitude. The best thing that I can describe this as is, in real life, is basically, again, when you're doing something hard, sometimes, for me at least, I just listen to some motivational speeches like his speech, or something like this, where my podcast, or podcasters like me in this space, where they just pump you up. Or Dr. Eric Thomas, he just yells at in your face like military training. Or David Goggins, people that inspire through what they do and their actions. Or listen to your favorite song to get you through a tough time while you're doing the work. Anything that uplifts your spirits and those around you to get through the tough times. Lesson number 10, the final lesson that changed my life for real, is never ever ring the bell. The bell in Navy SEAL training was an indication that they were ready to quit and drop out of the program. All they had to do was ring the bell at any time and they'd be out. The suffering of Navy SEAL training would come to an end. But this lesson is about perseverance and to never give up. I mean, think about it. Think that you physically have to walk there, look at the bell, and physically ring it when you give up. Just don't do that. Just don't do it. Just don't ring the bell. Just do whatever they say and get through the tough time. No matter how tough, no matter how hard things get, never ever ring the bell. Never ever give up. Never ever give up. Keep pushing forward. Stay committed. And you'll eventually accomplish your goals. I truly believe that if you never ever give up and you're consistent, you will reach your goals. Even if you need to take a break for a little bit, for a couple weeks. I think if you're consistent enough on a long enough time span, you will inevitably reach your goals. So that's it. So this is a speech that changed my life. Admiral Mcravens' speech is a powerful reminder that we all have the ability to make a difference in our lives, starting with the smallest menial task. By working together, facing our fears, and never give up, we can create a better world. And remember, change begins with you. It begins with the individual. So go out there, make your bed every day, and take on the day by day, with purpose and determination. Understand that these lessons emphasize the importance of the small wins in life and building momentum, the compounded effect of consistency, the power of teamwork and reliance on a team, and valuing people for who they are as their character and not how they look, embracing imperfections in life, persisting through adversities, and viewing failure as a pathway to grow and not to give up. It also highlights the courage to take risks, standing firm against challenges, maintaining composure in difficult times, finding hope amidst the hardest of times, and relentless commitment to never giving up. By adopting these principles, I think we can all play a part in creating a better world. And as Admiral Mcravens said, if you want to change the world, start off by making your bed.